Let me tell you about the day democracy bled on the Senate floor, because the fight over slavery wasn't just fiery speeches. It was so violent they nearly beat a man to death for daring to tell the truth. That man was Charles Sumner. Charles Sumner was a senator from Massachusetts. White, wealthy, educated, he really could have played it safe. But he didn't. He became one of the loudest, angriest, most unapologetic voices against slavery within Congress. And he didn't just talk about the moral wrongs in vague terms. He named names. He called slavery what it was: torture, theft, and America's original sin. He mocked slaveholders as criminals in fine suits, and he dared them to deny it. In 1856, he delivered a speech called The Crime Against Kansas. It wasn't polite. It was a full-on indictment of the entire pro-slavery movement. He described how they flooded Kansas with violence to force it into the slave system. He called it a crime against God and humanity. He singled out specific Southern senators as architects of that bloodshed. And 2 days later, Preston Brooks, a South Carolina congressman, he walked right onto the Senate floor. He didn't challenge Sumner to a debate, didn't even give him a chance to stand up. He walked up behind him while Sumner was at his desk and beat him with a cane, not once, but over and over and over again. He didn't stop until the cane literally broke. Sumner was trapped. His legs were pinned under the heavy Senate desk, which was bolted to the floor. He tried to get up, but he couldn't, so Brooks just kept swinging. Blow after blow smashed onto his head, blood pouring down his face. He screamed and struggled, but he couldn't escape. Senators watched. Some of them tried to intervene. Others just let it happen. When it was over, Sumner lay on the floor, unconscious, covered in blood. He nearly died. He didn't just walk away with bruises. He was so badly injured he couldn't return to work for 3 years. He needed multiple surgeries. He suffered from chronic pain and PTSD for the rest of his life. He couldn't even sit in the Senate chamber without reliving that attack. And here's the part America loves to gloss over. Preston Brooks? He became a Southern hero. They sent him new canes with messages engraved like, "Hit him again." They held banquets in his honor. They celebrated the beating as a defense of Southern honor and white supremacy. Because that's what it was. A warning. Speak out against slavery, and this is what you're gonna get. But Charles Sumner didn't quit. When he finally returned to the Senate, he picked up right where he left off. He kept calling slavery a crime. He kept demanding its abolition. After the Civil War, he fought for civil rights. He pushed for desegregated schools in D.C., demanded that black citizenship be written into federal law. Sumner wasn't perfect. He had plenty of blind spots. But he understood something fundamental. You can't compromise with evil. You can't politely discuss whether people deserve to be free. He was nearly killed for speaking up. He was nearly killed for saying it. But he still refused to shut up. That's what real resistance looks like. Not sanitized debates in history books, but a man lying in a pool of his own blood on the Senate floor because he wouldn't stay quiet about slavery. Charles Sumner got up from that floor and kept fighting. That's why his story matters, because that's the cost of telling the truth in a country that never wanted to hear it.